Now that we've built the D major scale, we're going to extract our primary chords. Remember, there are three primary chords in music. There's the tonic, the subdominant, and the dominant. These are built on the first, fourth, and fifth scale degrees, and to identify them as chords, we use Roman numerals. So let's go to the first, or tonic chord. We're going to go to the first scale degree, which is D. Remember, all scales are built on intervals of seconds, or steps, and all chords are built on thirds. So to create the thirds, you're going to spell it with every other letter. So the D chord is D, F sharp, A. I'll type that in here. Okay. The subdominant chord, we go to the fourth scale degree, which is G in the key of D major, and every other note will be G, B, and D. G, you're skipping the A, B, skip the C sharp, and D. The dominant chord is built on the fifth scale degree, so we start on the letter A. Don't forget to use the application of the sharps and flats that we discovered in our building it. So we have A, C sharp, and E. And then the dominant 7. Now this is a newer chord. The Roman numeral 5 is indicating a triad, a three-note chord built on the fifth scale degree. This 7 means we're going to extend it. So the fifth scale degree here is A. We're going to start with the A chord, A, C sharp, and the E. That's your rudiments of it, the Roman numeral 5. And then you go up a third from the E where you left off, and you end up on G. So moving on. Am I in here? Nope. And G. Okay, this is an extension, that's all, but it's still a dominant chord. This is probably the second most popular chord in music. Mostly it's the tonic, then the dominant, but the dominant 7 has a little bit more color with that added 7 to the chord, so we got to get familiar with that one. Now let's move on from 2 through 7 in this worksheet. Number 2, it says, what's the first or tonic tetrachord in the key of D major? Remember, there's the term chord in tetrachord, but it's really not a triad. It's not a chord built on thirds. It is represented by the first 4 scale degrees. In this case, it's D, E, F sharp, and G. The second tetrachord, or dominant tetrachord, starts on the 5th scale degree. These are the last 4 scale degrees, or 4 notes in the scale, which are A, B, C sharp, and D. So there's your tonic tetrachord and dominant tetrachord in the key of D major. Moving on, what is the step formula? This should be nice and easy. It's the first 3 steps here and the last 3 here. Remember, there's 8 notes and there's 7 steps in between, so it's whole, whole, half as your step formula for tetrachords. Oops, whole, whole, half. And the last 3 here, between these last 4 notes, whole, whole, half. There is 1 whole note in between the 2 tetrachord step formulas. Alrighty, moving on. What's the chord name for the Roman numeral 1 we just discussed? Is the tonic chord. The Roman numeral 4 indicates the subdominant chord, and the Roman numeral 5 is the dominant. Don't mix these up with scale degrees. Scale degrees are just numbers. The Roman numerals indicate triads that are built on those particular scale degrees. Move on to the next slide.